Welcome into the Cleveland Browns Report. We've got a mailbag coming your way on today's show. I answer questions during our live show, which is every Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern. So if you ever want to be a part of a future mailbag, tune in for our live show and ask your question then. So let's dive into our first question. It comes in from Adam. Can the Browns make the playoffs if Brissett has to start all 17 games? We're going right for the jugular with the first question. Can the Browns make the playoffs if Brissett has to start all 17 games? I don't believe so. We can look at the schedule here where the Browns, the AFC got a lot better this offseason. And Jacoby Brissett, despite having a lot of talent around him on this roster, is not a playoff quarterback, right? He is a backup quarterback. Let's not lose sight of that. Now, I've got arrows next to each team here, denoting whether they've improved or gotten worse this offseason. And there are some teams they play like the Patriots who got worse after they lost 45-7 against them last year. But the Ravens and Bengals improved. The Dolphins got better. And then the back half, I think, is very tough, okay? There's not an easy out, maybe aside from the Texans. But the Texans got better. They had some good draft picks. The Ravens will get healthy. You got to play the Bucs, the Bills. The Saints had some good draft picks. Washington will be hard to predict with Carson Wentz there, but they probably stayed about the same, similar with the Steelers. So I don't think Jacoby Brissett in 17 games, I hate to be a Debbie Downer, but I'm not just going to say yes to anything, including like the Browns winning the Super Bowl with Jacoby Brissett, all right? Honest opinion, no, I don't think the Browns are a playoff team with him, despite having a ton of talent. And I'm not saying the Browns can't have a good year. They might go 9-8. 10-7 with Brissett. But this stacked AFC, this loaded AFC North, is 10-7 going to be good enough? I don't think so. Next question comes in from Scorpion. 2 questions. Okay. First question is, who is the most underrated Browns player in your opinion? Good question. Second question, do you think Houston is somewhat responsible for the Watson situation? So the most underrated Browns player, what about Grant Delpit? You know, a guy that missed his entire rookie season with that ruptured Achilles. He looked good last year. And the Browns are going to have a lot of extra DB sets, a lot of 3 safety looks. So John Johnson, Delpit, and Ronnie Harrison are going to get a lot of playing time. So I'd go with Grant Delpit as maybe like an under-the-radar, kind of slept-on player in a very crowded defense with a lot of stars, with Myles Garrett. You got 2 first overall picks on the D-line. Garrett, Clowney. You got the second highest paid corner with Denzel Ward. You got 2 top picks in Greg Newsome, Greedy Williams, plus Martin Emerson. J.O.K. Hell, it took me that long to get to his name. So a lot of good players on this defense. I'll go with Delpit. Is Houston somewhat responsible? Well, if you read the New York Times article that came out about this, and they all are just allegations, so none of this is guaranteed fact. That's not what I'm here to say. But the New York Times article says that the Houston Texans help facilitate this by having a former Secret Service agent who worked for the Texans give Watson an NDA to give to his masseuse. So they definitely, and they also help paid for his hotel rooms, according to the New York Times. Now, do with that information you will. I don't work for the Times, but I definitely think they are probably a little more involved in this than just completely absent. We had no idea. You know, it was nothing to do with us. No, probably a little bit more involved than maybe we're led on to believe. Question comes in from my guy, Night Fright. After seeing Cade York kick in OTAs, are you happy they didn't go with Dicker the kicker? Yeah, good memory. I wanted Dicker the kicker for about 2 reasons. His name is awesome. It's Dicker the kicker. No more needs to be said. But he also went to Texas. So did Phil Dawson. So did Justin Tucker. So Austin, Texas, may not be producing good football. Texas is not back. But they do put out good kickers. So after seeing Cade York kick that 60-yarder, that was the only time I think he actually really kicked to the public, kicked at OTAs. He went to First Energy Stadium to practice kicking there because that's all that matters. Can you kick by the lake with the wind? But yeah, I think I'll warm up to Cade York instead of Dicker the kicker. If you haven't subscribed already, make sure you go ahead and do so for a couple of reasons. 1, we've got daily Browns content, along with the latest Browns coverage spanning from news, rumors, trade rumors, really anything related to the Browns under the sun. We break it down here. Plus, interactive live shows and mailbags. There's no channel out there that is having a two-way conversation with their audience as much as we are. We get you on screen, we let your voice be heard, and we do mailbags where you can be just as part of the show as I am. So make sure you subscribe today. Question comes in from D Zink. Do you think it's an option to trade Baker for another backup quarterback? It's an interesting thought, one you really can't dismiss right now, especially with how uncertain things are at the quarterback position. I will say this. I think Barry is pretty confident in Jacoby Brissett, right? He traded Case Keenum away, maybe to recoup some draft capital, but maybe that was before the Watson, but no, aside from the point, yeah, I think he's very confident in Brissett. So if he can trade Baker, yeah, he'll explore that option for sure. But if it's like a Baker for Jimmy G swap where they have to take on more money than Baker's contract, no, I don't think so. But I don't think Barry will leave a stone unturned if he finds out tomorrow, Brissett's his starting quarterback and he doesn't look good in OTAs. Yeah, he might start to explore some other QB options. Good question, though. We got another question from Scorpion. Matthew Peterson is way better than those ESPN announcers. Also, he is 10 times better than Skip Bayless had to say it. Appreciate you for that. I'm going to cheers to you, Scorpion. Appreciate the kind words, my guy. We love to talk about the Brownies here on the channel. No one else does it like we do. Make sure you subscribe, and that way you can be just like Scorpion. Question comes in from Keith Rodenbutcher. Do you think Emerson will start at slot corner to start the season? No. Greg Newsome has been getting a lion's share of the work at slot corner. If you remember, when Troy Hill got hurt in the Patriots game last year, week 11, it was Greg Newsome that mostly took over at slot. And he didn't look as bad. Now, Greg Newsome, coming out of Northwestern, wasn't, what's our favorite word for slot corner? Twitchy. Wasn't really a twitchy guy, but Emerson is not. Emerson's lengthy. He's 6'2". He's got a nice wingspan. And for DBs, for GMs, they look for that because an extra inch or two, that's what she said, means a lot. Okay, so he can get his fingertips to the ball, and he can help deflect passes on the outside. I think it's going to be Greg Newsome at the slot, not Martin Emerson. I want to tell everyone watching about what's going on over at Rumble. Rumble is another video platform service that has unfiltered sports, news, politics, tech, whatever you're looking for. And we're also on Rumble, and we're closing in on 3,000 subscribers. We need 603 more. So if you're looking for more ways to support the show, follow us at rumble.com/Browns Report. Subscribe, and that way you can help support the show and get more Browns coverage. We got a super chat coming in from, we got a question coming in from David. I got a little ahead of myself. Can Watson ever recover from this overall? Yes. It's hard to speculate what life will be like in 5 years from now. Is this ever going to go away? No. Right? Ben Roethlisberger had a sexual assault misconduct case himself early in his career, and that's still talked about. Now, is it talked about as predominantly day-to-day? Not really. It kind of gets brought up when other stuff gets brought up. But will this ever go away? No. So can he recover from this overall? Yes. But I don't think this is going to get just evaporated from people's memory if it's like settled next week or something like that. Question coming in from Stranger People. Who are you watching for at Mandatory Minicamp? Good question. I got to watch Stranger Things. But as for who I am watching for, I'm going to cheat and say what I'm watching, what position, and that's defensive tackle, okay? This is kind of the cop-out one here, but it's really important because it is up for grabs right now in between Garrett and Clowney. Right now, the Browns are putting the veterans at the top of the depth chart, and by veterans, we're talking about a 2020 draft pick and a 2018 draft pick in Elliott and Bryant. So they're not, long-time veterans in this league. It's going to be an absolute battle. Don't even count out Sheldon Day, okay? Or the undrafted free agent Glenn Logan out of LSU. That's what I'm watching for, is that defensive tackle position. Because I believe if they don't look all that great, now it's just mandatory minicamp, but a move could follow. Because even though it's not padded and it's not really live football, that's going to be another opportunity for Andrew Berry to see how that position is shaping up to be And if he was banking on some guys taking a big leap forward in year 2 or year 3 or year 4, and they aren't making that leap, maybe that's when he goes, all right, time to pick up the phone. Let's get a veteran free agent in here. I want to ask this kind of off-the-wall question, but help me settle a bit of a debate I've got with producer Marshall. What's the better sandwich, Jimmy John's or Subway? I think Jimmy John's is the most refreshing sandwich out there, but I think Subway is a little bit underrated because I love their chicken and bacon ranch melt. However, I would go Jimmy John's, but let me know which place you prefer down below in the comments. Question comes in from Flagspin. Favorite Step Brothers quote. Best question we've gotten today. Favorite Step Brothers quote. I would probably say it's a very underappreciated one. I could go all day. We could make a whole separate video on this. But I would go when Mr. Doback is spanking Brennan and Dale yells at him, Dad, and he goes, "You're next, mister." And he goes, "Yes, sir." That's got to be my favorite Step Brothers quote. A 40-year-old man saying, "Yes, sir," to his dad in terms of a spanking coming his way next. All right, Dawg Pound K9 is our next question. Will the Browns trade Hunt? Second question, will they trade for a wide receiver or pick up a free agent wide receiver? I really don't want the Browns to trade Kareem Hunt. The only way I'd be okay with them trading Hunt is if they got an offer they can't refuse. A second-round pick. A third, I used to say, might not even cut it for me this year. Especially if Watson is going to play this season, don't start unloading assets you've got, right? You've got an awesome offense. Don't start dismembering it. So I hope they don't trade Hunt, but I don't think they will either. Second question, will they trade for a wide receiver or pick up one? No, it really looks like Andrew Berry is confident in this group. He's also confident in when he gives a quarterback $230 million, he will elevate those wide receivers. He will make Donovan Peoples-Jones look like a wide receiver too. He will hopefully bring out the best in Anthony Schwartz and the rookie, David Bell. So I don't think a wide receiver move is up on the horizon unless they just start looking really bad in training camp, which I don't think is going to be the case. Make sure you follow me on Twitter, by the way, at Matthew Petey. I am just over 300 followers away from 1,000. So help me cross that milestone, get across that threshold. Follow me. The link's in the comments and the description. I'll follow you back, and we can talk about the Brownies on the Bird app.